Georgia's still counting. Nevada, what the hell, man?
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pubstomp, a podcast about games, TV shows, movies, and pop culture in general. Every episode, we discuss topics that we find interesting. Come join our shenanigans.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Pubstomp podcast. Oh man, today we're discussing it's a I guess a special episode. But anyway, here we have Mexy
Hey.
and myself, trigoman. Tyler couldn't make it today, but he's here in spirit. How's it going, man? How's it going?
That's pretty good, man. We're going into
good.
day 2 of elections.
Yeah. So that's what I meant. Special episode today. We're not gonna be doing anything. We're just gonna be discussing the news.
We're going to be discussing history.
History in the making.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot going on. The year is 2020. It's election year, and there's been a lot of turmoil in the I guess political atmosphere, and now it's time to choose who is the next president of the United States. And I guess we're, like Mexy said, we're on day 2. So we'll,
Thursday, November 5th, for those caring about the dates.
at 10 p.m. Pacific, and I guess 11 Mountain Time for Mexy.
Bro, I don't even know. I don't understand how time zones. Okay.
Yeah.
You people in the coast and stuff change your time. Us in Arizona, we're just like, this is the day. This is the time.
This is the day. Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, and I guess normally we would do something else, but I guess Max and I were discussing, and we thought we should probably talk about this, since it's actually it's much different than other elections that I've, I guess, witnessed or remembered. And before we go into it, we should probably talk a little bit of what.
Let's set the stage.
Yeah, set the stage. I was like, how do we get here? What's going on? What is different with this election? Do you mind rolling it up?
Sure. So, I mean, let's talk about, it's 2020, the year of the pandemic, right? People are afraid of being crowds. What does that do? You know, what do you have to do to vote? You got to go to a crowd, right?
Yeah.
So one of the big things this year is there's a lot of mail-in voting. That was like the big push by, one side of the parties. The other side was very anti mail-in voting. So, that's that.
Right.
There's also a lot of turmoil because, we've had a bunch of riots over the years. I almost feel since, the summer we've had riots?
Yeah, the summer was a lot of riots. It was a lot of riots because
there's a lot of
Black Lives Matter movement, and there's a bunch of riots because people were tired of being quarantined. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, people in quarantine, Black Lives Matter, people protesting other protests, it's just like, It's been a really messy year. So tensions are super high this year, and that's kind of driven voting to its all-time highest votes, as we're seeing record number turnouts everywhere. Right now we got Biden, I believe, over 72 million votes to Trump's 69 million votes or something like that.
That's right, yeah. As far as we know.
So both of those candidates have had the most people vote for them ever in an election, which is insane to think about. Almost half the country voting, more than half the country, actually.
Yeah, it feels like super divided. I think that's probably why, and I think the pandemic probably has accelerated, because there's nothing else to focus on, right? So everybody focuses on the next fire, right? There was the COVID, and then there was the riots, and then there was now we have the election.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the next big thing.
The country's on fire literally for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's true. That also happened. Yeah. So
we had our president be like, I'm not going to help you guys. So that's then we had hurricanes too. Like,
Yeah,
oh my god,
it's
this year has been rough, man.
and we're still in quarantine. We're still not out of the woods yet. We're back on second wave because the cases are going up. So anyway, yeah, that's.
Bro, we're
I think
still
that
in the
all
first wave.
we're still in the first wave. Well, I guess we're still in the first wave, but it's going back up because it took a dip in the summer,
Yeah.
weirdly enough, and then it's going back up like across the
Weirdly
country.
enough, when everybody said stay home, okay, we'll
Yeah,
stay home. And then everybody got tired of it. Anyways, I digress.
yeah, take us back. So
Ryzen took over Nvidia. They weren't ready.
we weren't
It's a
ready.
crazy year, man. It's a crazy year,
Crazy
okay?
year, crazy year.
But yeah, so that's where we're at, I think. The big, like we alluded earlier, basically most Democrats voted mail-in, most Republicans voted in person. So like right now, if you look at the news, it's super insane watching how the numbers are turning out. Like one moment you have one state be red, the next moment it turns blue, then again it turns red because depending on how one state counted versus like the influx of votes are, like it's just shifting constantly. It's crazy.
Right, right. Yeah, because I opted to not look at this stuff on election day because I knew it was
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like okay. So from 2016, uh, I assumed that Hillary was gonna win, like
Mm-hmm.
no contest. But then Trump won that, so I was like, okay, you know what? I just don't want to look at this, so I don't want to be stressed out about it. But then this started dragging on longer, so I had to look at it, and now I can't stop looking at it. So it's been very interesting to see how things are turning out because it's been unprecedented. All the stuff is very different than normal.
Yeah. So I started watching Election Day 12 p.m. our Arizona time.
Yeah,
And then like from that moment, I didn't go to sleep till like 4 in the morning that day because like I was cooked, man. Like it wasn't even like at this point I don't really care who wins, right? Like I did my part, I voted, we're good. Like that's as far as I can do. Now it's
yeah,
just seeing like what is happening, right? Because like I said, some states they couldn't vote, like you couldn't count your early ballot votes, so there was like nothing about it until the day of.
yeah,
Other states, like they counted the early ballots first and then they did the day of. Other states did the early ballots first and then the day of. So like you're constantly seeing like states switch back and forth. Like Ohio for the longest time was Biden was winning, and then sometime in the middle of at midnight it switched over to Trump, and you're just like, what? Like what happened? Like
yeah, yeah.
it's crazy.
And there's also this whole thing with like for the vote to count, it just has to be postmarked before November 4th, right? Or what was it, election day?
So that depends. It could be postmarked the day of, as long as you receive it. But some states were allowing, like I think Pennsylvania is like when you received the ballot, you had 3 more days after the election, as long as it was
Oh,
postmarked before, like it was okay. Like
yeah, before the election, right? So if it's postmarked, the main I think overall is as long as it's postmarked before the election.
no, because
The,
some states are like 7 p.m. the day of. That's it. If we didn't get your vote, you're done. Like we don't take your vote anymore.
oh, okay.
So
Even if it's postmarked before, like if it didn't make it to their hands, it doesn't count anymore.
if it didn't make it in the mailbox or anything, if it didn't make it in the Dropbox or one of the collections, that's it. You're done. Like your vote
Okay.
doesn't count. So every state. So one of the big things is that every state handles the election differently. There's no um consistent like everybody. This is how we do voting. Like that's not how it works in the U.S. apparently. So like Arizona does it one way, New Mexico does it one way, California does it one way, and like at the end of the day, we're just like, okay, this is who won in this state. This is who won. This is why it's like a huge cluster because like Pennsylvania, they weren't allowed to start counting votes until the day of, like 7 a.m. that day. Whereas in Arizona, they started counting votes like 3 days before, like the early ballots. So
Yeah.
like we were ready to go. Most of the votes were ready to go for early ballots. except for the ones that were received like right before the election. So like that causes a lot of confusion because like, okay, why are they doing it but this state's not doing it, but this state is doing it? Like, why is that state ready but this state is not? Okay, like it's just a mess.
Yeah, because I think like all the East Coast states like get their stuff in first, except Pennsylvania and I guess North Carolina and Georgia this time around, and then like all of a sudden like all the West Coast gets their stuff in, but then in the middle is like flickering like all for like a few hours, changing back and forth. But one thing that was like, I guess I know about it now, but it wasn't apparent when I first started looking into politics.
Mm-hmm.
Is like the electoral college, or how do the votes work?
Mm-hmm.
I know I asked you this before, but it's like it's not based on popular vote; it's based on something else, right?
So it is and it is like, so we don't pick the president based on who wins the popular vote. We pick the president based on who wins the electoral college, right?
Yeah,
So each, just how we do the House of Representatives, each state has a certain number of electoral college votes, and whoever wins the state, normally, I'll get into that in a little bit. Whoever wins the state will get all the votes for that state. And so, like, California has 55, it's one of the highest. Florida has 29, again, one of the highest. I think Texas is like 33 or something like that.
yeah, and it's
Um,
based on population, right, of that state.
yeah, it's based on the population of that state. So let's say all the votes come in. If you win California, then you get 55 votes. Right now, it's you need a minimum of 270 votes,
Yeah,
and you become president. And that's basically the majority of the electoral college, right?
yeah,
You have a majority, you win. Um, there's two states, Maine and Nebraska, who do congressional districts. So the electoral college votes for that state is based on basically uh, cut out sections of the state. Like, okay, this group of the population lives here, so they get this many votes. This group of the population lives here, this they get this many points. So, like in Nebraska and Maine, you can have Trump win, District 1 and 2, and then Biden win 3, and the same with Maine.
yeah.
So they do things a little bit different.
Yeah, because I asked you about this because on the what's it called, on the political like maps,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that are showing like the current status, they show us like stripes, and I was like, what does that mean? And I didn't know about that until like today.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds to be more fair. It's more like close to the popular vote, but you mentioned that it could be abused by gerrymandering, and that is just like people abusing where they draw the
The
district
lines.
lines. Yeah, and that's it. It happens already, but it could probably make things worse for presidential elections. But
What's interesting is Colorado voted this year and they approved the measure that if whoever wins the popular vote gets all the electoral college votes, um, and the way the measure is written is as soon as more you get 270, a number of states that equal 270 votes make that same measure, then it goes into effect. So eventually, it seems like you could be president if you win the popular vote. Eventually,
oh, yeah, I guess if everybody switched to kind of like that.
it's an old construct, right? The electoral college is back when people were less educated, and they didn't want to let certain number of states with more people have more power. So, like our
No,
founding
the other way
fathers,
around, right? Like less people have the same amount of power, because if you have like Montana has like no
yeah,
people in it, or like North Dakota, like why are their votes
yes.
the same as like a very dense state, right? So, but it's I don't know how other countries do it. Like I just know these, and I don't even know it that well. So it's interesting. I'll say that.
It is a very weird way. Most people ask, like most other countries ask, "What's this electoral college thing?" So, yeah,
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is.
it's a
Each state
cluster.
gets
That's
some
what it
weight.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. Well, and around that, um, everybody's taking their. There are particular states that are called battleground states that can go either way, and some
Mhm.
that each candidate like Democrats or Republicans, they already know that it's theirs. Like Texas is obviously going to be Republican, and California is always going to be a blue state, not a Democrat. But there's some other states that people didn't anticipate to go one way or another. Like I guess Wisconsin was one of them. You mentioned that you were up in the night
Yeah.
watching that.
So those were one of the battleground states. They're like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Um, they're more considered swing, I guess, swing states.
So yeah, swing states. Yeah,
And basically, it is like if you want to win, you need to win one of these states or most of these states. That's just how it is because again, Electoral College. So, um, in 2016, Trump won most of the states pretty single-handedly. Not super single-handedly, but it was pretty decisive. But this year, like, you would be watching, and like I said, in one moment, Trump was like winning, and then in the middle of the night, because they started counting in all the mail-in votes, suddenly Biden won. The
yeah,
Wisconsin blew, and everybody's like, "What?" And it's kind of a factor of how you like. If you zoom in on a state, like, and you can do this on every single state. Like, if you look at California, and we'll use that as the biggest blue state, most of the state is red. It's like until you hit the urban areas, like it turns blue, right? And it's the
yeah,
craziest thing when you realize it. And I think we were talking about this. It's like the only difference between a blue state and a red state is a blue state has a city, a big city,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's usually like even if you look at Nevada now, like the parts that are districts that are blue is Vegas and Reno, and
Mm-hmm.
everything else is red in between. Everything between the whole state of Nevada is red. But there's not a lot of people living in those areas, and
Mm-hmm.
it could be like Republican might have like a different culture where they care about certain things or not. But I don't know. It's just an observation that how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a red state, it's most of the time usually very red, so it doesn't matter. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Unless you're in California, or I mean, like Texas, like Austin and all those are pretty big cities, and they're all blue.
Yeah,
They just can't beat the rest of the
yeah, it
population.
can't beat the rest of Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah, but man, like speaking of,
it was close
the,
though. In the middle of the
was it
night,
close this time?
yeah, Texas was blue for a really long time. It's
Really?
very interesting. Yeah,
I'm looking at it now. It's 52% Donald Trump, 246 Biden. Not even close, man. I mean, I guess after everything got tallied up, that's pretty far apart. But
well, if you look at like there's third party candidates.
at 1%, 1.4%, like irrelevant. I always hate
Wow,
this third party thing. It's like it just like seems like it siphons votes from a party because it's like you don't want to vote either way. But then like the U.S. is a two-party system. It's not three parties or four parties. So
that depends
whenever
on
there's
which
which what
that depends on which state you live.
is there?
So Maine has ranked choice, I think.
Oh yeah, this is new, right? This year I read about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ranked choice, you can support multiple parties,
Hmm.
and hopefully more places adopt that soon.
Yeah, if they move to like ranked choice, we could have like a viable third party or fourth party.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like Maine right now, 2.9%. I guess that's pretty high for others.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like almost like irrelevant. It just makes things more worse for one of the candidates that could have had their votes instead. But anyway, that's I guess this is America. We can do whatever you want.
Well, no, what the ranked choice is, if there's two candidates, like you get your second choice, and then that candidate gets your vote, right? It's really interesting how it works.
It's if I understand correctly, all of the votes count, right? But this how much they count, that is the question.
No,
It's
so
not like your first vote counts for like three and your second vote counts for two and the third one counts for one. It's not like that, or
mm,
is it something else?
no. So what happens is, okay, so there's four people, let's say five, right? And then first the round of counts goes in, and then your candidate, if you're one of the one and your candidate was fifth place, your votes goes to whoever your next choice was, which
I see. Okay.
let's say it was three, right? and then they do another. They check the voting again, and then 1, 2, and 4 were good. So your vote goes to the next person, which would have been 3.
I see.
Let's say
Okay.
2. So your vote just moves to who it goes to.
Oh, so they do multiple rounds, and then whoever keeps losing, it bubbles up to the next person. Okay,
Yeah,
that's another way. Okay, cool.
it's really weird, but it makes your vote more pliable, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't disappear, right? Because if your
Yeah.
candidate loses, it doesn't just go into nothing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's in this case, like if you vote for a third party, that and that doesn't win or it gets even close, that vote essentially disappears, and
Mhm.
you essentially didn't vote. So
Yeah.
that's what I
There's
mean.
there's a certain threshold that you had to meet. I think it was like 50%. If you reach 50%, you're obviously gonna win anyways, right? If you had the
Mhm.
majority, so rank vote doesn't matter there.
Yeah.
But if it was less than 50%, then rank vote matters.
Right. Cool. Well, I don't know if that's gonna happen to the rest of the country. We're still figuring out how to do this one.
Hey
So,
man, just let the weed flow through the country, and then people
yeah,
start getting ideas. Okay.
yeah. I guess yeah. That's good. Arizona. It's now. Did they decriminalize marijuana or did
No,
they
no, no, no.
legalize
They legalize recreational, man.
recreational use? Yeah,
You
because
can
there's
even grow if you want.
nice. Because there's two terms, right? If you just decriminalize it, you can have it and you won't get in trouble, but you can't buy it or use it, right?
You can't like
Uh,
sell it. You can
yeah,
use
I guess so.
it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Well,
And
welcome
now you,
to the future.
yes. I mean, I don't partake, so I don't care. But like, it's
It'll be
just
good for the. It'll
crazy.
be good for the state. It'll be good.
Yeah. The biggest thing is they removed it being a felony. So in Arizona, it used to be a felony.
Yeah, as a minority, that's a big issue because just statistically speaking, if you get caught with if two people of different races, one of them being brown, one of them being not brown, the brown person will go to jail. The other one will be like, okay, whatever, right? It's statistically speaking, not just
Mm.
anecdotally. So, uh, it being like legal now it levels the playing field for everybody. So now everybody can just be relaxed. No more like road rage in Arizona. Just go.
I don't know about that, man. People freaking
Oh
out.
man. But yeah, speaking of like not knowing how to handle things, what about Nevada, man? Like I've been seeing a lot of memes about Nevada. Like we were waiting for them to finish counting. How hard can
Man,
it be?
they're the slowest counters in the world, man. Like, Jesus.
Oh man.
They, everybody was like watching them, and then they were giving updates like regularly. And then one day they were like, I think like the day before, they were like, okay, we're just gonna give daily updates now at
Yeah,
10 a.m. every day.
because yesterday they said like, okay, we're gonna have an update. We're gonna have an update. And like, actually tomorrow at 9. Actually tomorrow at 10. And then today at 10. You told me today at
Mhm.
10. They said like, our update is we're gonna have an update tomorrow at 10. It's like
Well, they did. They did do an update, but they were like, "We're not done. We'll do another update tomorrow at 10." Like, what?
oh man.
It's not like anybody's waiting or anything.
Yeah, I saw an interview saying that they were just not ready to handle like so many mail-in ballots.
Hmm.
But it's like you guys knew this was gonna happen. Biden has been telling everybody to vote like that you can just ask for an absentee ballot. Like do that instead. So yeah, there's a lot of memes coming out with the count. Well, I guess that's what it's called, the count from Sesame Street.
Yes, the count. Yes. It's like,
Man,
we're bringing in help, and then they show count.
they show up count showing up. I've seen some TikToks. It's like this is how Nevada counts, and they say like they have some guy singing. Like I'll link it because I can't. It's just funny. It's like slowly counting. It's like oh man, I get it. It's probably a hard job. Like it's gotta be so stressful, right? Because some Trump has sued some of the states so that they want to be closer to the people counting the. Instead
Yeah,
of being 20 feet away, they want to be like 6 feet away so they can see that they're not doing anything fishy.
they were
Um,
100 feet away.
100 feet away.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know, like people have been doing this for a while, right? Like it's not. I don't think people are doing anything nefarious. Like it would be pretty
No.
hard, right, to do it.
So where that comes from is like, so let's go back to midnight of the day of the election day, right? Like if you look certain states like Pennsylvania, Trump was winning at midnight 600,000 votes. He was up 600,000 votes, right? And you think to yourself, all right, like he's gonna win that state.
Yeah.
Right now, he's like 20,000 votes up. So in the course of 2 days, counting mail-ins and all this other crap, right? Like he lost his 600,000 vote lead.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So like they're freaking out about it, and it's nothing unusual, right? Everybody knows like, oh, there was a lot of mail-in ballots, and everybody knew it was going to take a while to count because they couldn't start counting until the day of. So that's where this comes from.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess since we touched on that, like the night of the uh election, or like the night of the election, Biden addressed the I guess his party or his followers, and Trump did as well. And Biden's was more like, I mean, his attitude was happy. He wasn't overconfident. He just said like, let's wait, be patient. This is gonna take a while because of how these things are different. And Trump shows up saying like, "We got this, guys. We got this in the bag. Everything's good. We won."
Nah. You're downplaying that quite a bit.
Am I downplaying it?
Yes.
Okay.
He shows up and it was like, we're winning. They're trying to steal the election, counting all these fraudulent votes.
Well, that was today, right?
No, that was the day of.
The day of too? Okay.
Yes. He was like, we're not going to let this happen. I'm going to take this to the courts and the Supreme Court to make them stop counting. That's where stop counting started.
Oh, that's how stop counting started. Okay.
Yeah, like it wasn't like, this just recently started. No, the day of the election, he was like, I won and we're going to stop this now. They're trying to steal the vote.
Yeah. And yeah, because I didn't see Trump's address. I just read about it. I saw Biden's address. I just wanted. He didn't say much. He just like, "Yep, just be patient. Go home, sleep."
It was short and sweet. Everything's good. Go. We're done. No. Trump was like very much. They're trying to steal the election. Don't let it happen.
Yeah. And we didn't hear from Trump for a long time until this afternoon. Still on that like. He's still on that like suing states and saying that
they're stealing the election.
You're stealing the election. Something about like only legal votes. If we only count legal votes, he's winning. Like, what does that mean, man? Like legal votes, everything's legal. Everything's above water. I don't know. Like a lot of things that he's saying are not backed by facts.
Two arguments there. One of them is like he's trying to make it sound like there's a lot of voter fraud in the mail-in votes. Mm-hmm. So those are illegal, right? So those aren't okay. That's one of the things. So he's trying to make it sound like there's a lot of voter fraud in the mailed votes. Right. The second one is certain states like Pennsylvania is allowing like I said, 3 days after the election, if it was postmarked, they'll take it. Like it's okay. And there's other states that do that as well. And then there's the provisional ballots and all these other things. So all of that, like he's trying to make all of those things sound like they were illegal.
Right. Yeah, it's been like this for a long time, and now like I don't know. I think at this point it's just Biden's side is like he's like the winner will be whoever America chooses, and Trump's stance is more like you guys are trying to take this away from me. It's like it's just very different attitudes. I mean I don't care who you side with. It's just like different attitudes. One guy is like much more confrontational, and I get it. If it was actually I don't believe that it's happening, just because it would take so much work to do that. Like it would be like how do you even cover that up, man? Like,
have you seen Narcos? They showed it how it happened, man.
Yeah, I guess, but I guess maybe I believe in America more than I believe in like other countries that are run by drug cartels.
The biggest and most obvious thing that shows that things are okay, right? Democrats were expected to win a lot of Senate seats. They were like, "We're gonna win. We're gonna take the Senate," and it's not looking too good. Like a
That's
lot of
true.
a lot of
Yeah, that's true.
Republicans are winning.
Yeah, it's
Right?
the same freaking ballot, right? It's the same
Yeah,
freaking piece of paper. So if they're gonna like fudge with the like presidential like vote, they might as well fudge with the
the Senate
like
too.
other Senate. Yeah, like make everything blue. Paint the town blue, man.
Right? You don't gotta win
Yeah.
by a
So
lot. You just gotta win by enough, right?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. So that's one thing that doesn't make sense. Really, we just need to finish counting. Like Georgia, it's one of those states that is very close too.
hmm
So
it's less than 2,000 votes,
yeah,
and
that's
he's
insane, man. That's so
and it
close.
was like I think 200,000 votes at one point difference, and now we're 2,000 less than
Mm.
2,000 point.
Yeah, is
And
that the state that had like issues with like their that was getting flooded or something like that? Or that's
yeah, there was like a
okay?
pipe that burst somewhere to
Yeah,
in a building nearby, so like they stopped counting for like 4 hours or something.
yeah,
So that's one of the arguments that Trump is making too. That like why did they stop counting 4 hours? Like, okay,
yeah. It's stuff, bro.
okay.
I saw a video. Like it was legit. Like this water, you can't be working there.
Like, what if it
Yeah,
ruins all the ballots, right?
yeah.
Like,
Whatever is all the ballots. Yeah, it must be pretty intense to be one of those people. Because I know in Arizona, you told me that there's people protesting. Like they want to,
hmm
people want to get inside to see. It's like you guys want to get out of here, man. Like,
people
what are
got
you gonna see?
inside.
They got inside,
Yes.
and then
Oh,
they what?
there was two double doors, so they couldn't get into the actual like room, but they
Yeah.
got in the building, and then they called the sheriff's office. So then they had like barricades, and then today they had like this is the freedom of speech zone. You can't cross
Okay.
this. It's pretty bad. Like they have Alex Jones out there today too. So, it's insane, man.
Is he also in the conspiracy that they're doing
Yes.
something wrong with the votes?
Yes, he sings on the
Oh,
conservative side, so he's
gotcha.
pro. He spews a lot of conspiracy theories.
You shared some videos. I believe that now. He's a character. Entertaining. You should watch him.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just
don't
don't
watch.
know like what people expect to see. Like they're gonna get in there and they're gonna do what? Like count with them? Like what? Most of the
It's
stuff is done by machines, right? So
well, I guess the big thing is, and one of the arguments is people are like duplicating votes and stuff, and that's how they're cheating the system.
right.
Like one of the big conspiracy theories running around in the day was that um there was more votes cast than people are registered to vote.
Hmm.
And like if you look at like I mean you can see the numbers, like I think one of the big one was in Wisconsin that they said like there was only 16 million people registered to vote, but they're using a number from 2016. Like if you go look at the numbers from this year, it's
Yeah.
like 2 million people can vote, something like that.
Right.
So like it's like people think that they're twisting votes and doing crazy stuff. And I get it. Like I do get it. I don't condone it, but like
It's
it
just
goes
chill out. It's just chill out. It's
mm,
been a rough year, guys. It's been a rough year. It's gonna be
mm,
emotions on both sides. It's very close. It's very close for both. Like it doesn't make. I didn't think it was gonna be this close for either candidate, but it's like just because it's this close, and like because like of all the things that happened this year, it makes this election like just much more like it's gonna be in the history books. It's gonna a lot of stuff is gonna be learned from there. I almost guarantee there's going to be different laws that are going to be passed around voting because of this election.
like 50 years from now there's going to be like, "Oh, I specialize in people doing their like postdoctoral research like I do 2020 January through February. Oh, interesting. I do mine from November to December." Like that's how much stuff has happened this year, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's been an interesting year, and this is the second day of post election, so we still don't know who is gonna win. I think both candidates can win without doing recounts, without doing anything crazy, right?
There's
And I
so
and
right now it's both candidates can win, and then there can be a tie. like a
Yeah, I
literal
was gonna.
tie with
Yeah,
269 to 269, and
and
that's
that's
when
the
it's
worst case scenario. Yeah,
that's gonna be the worst case scenario.
yeah.
If
I hope it
there's
doesn't come to
riots,
that.
if there's gonna be riots, it's if it's 269 to 269. I mean, I guarantee there's gonna be riots either way, but if there's gonna be riots, like the worst riots are probably if it's 269 to 269.
Yeah, because I guess like somebody has to make the call, and I don't know. Like I don't think that's ever happened. So we'll see. I think there's a few key states that if Biden wins, it's done. I think Pennsylvania is the main one. I think he's very confident that he can win Pennsylvania, but right now it's red. They're gonna be done when they're done counting votes.
If he wins
Hmm.
Arizona and Nevada, he can wins. If he wins just Pennsylvania, he wins. If he wins Georgia and Arizona or Nevada, he wins.
Yeah,
If Trump loses any of those states, he loses. Period. Like he has to
yeah,
win all 5 states now.
yeah. I think at this point I would rather be Biden than Trump because yeah, there's more ways for you to win if you're Biden, but if you're Trump, you have to win them all, and it could happen. Like he won 2016. Like it could
Yeah,
happen. Yeah.
it could
So
totally happen. This not outside the realm of possibility.
yeah,
It's and this is why they're you're seeing people protesting like stop counting or count all the votes or like very confusing times.
yeah, and I was seeing also that if you want to declare a recount, kind of like what happened with the Al Gore versus Bush election, like if it's within some margins,
Hmm.
like if it's not close enough, the party has to pay for the recount,
Right.
and you have until like December because I think manual counting takes forever.
Yeah.
So you can do a canvas, which is machine recount, or or recount, which is like a person like counting each freaking vote. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Like we're gonna be, I guarantee you, this is gonna be happening. Like we're gonna be doing recounts all the way until December.
Well, it depends. So if it's between a certain margin, it goes into an automatic recount. If it's
Yeah,
between another margin, your party can say, okay, I'll pay for the recount.
yeah,
If it's above that margin, there's no recount. They won't do a recount.
gotcha. Okay,
So that's why
yeah,
it's really important. Like if Biden or Trump wins by like 40,000 points or 40,000 points,
yeah.
that's the
Points are like
gamer.
holy crap, man.
40,000 votes or something like that, then like it's a done deal. Don't worry about like move along, right?
Hmm.
Um, so that's what's very curious. So like if Pennsylvania or Georgia end up being within like 0.5% of each other, that's where it
Hmm.
gets interesting.
Yeah, because all these are pretty close. All these are like they both have 49% or like something really close. 49, 48. Yeah, like really close, 49%. So uh yeah, everybody's at the edge of their seats, everybody's stressed out, everybody like wants to know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is America's current fire. Please nothing else, please God, let nothing else happen between now and the election be over. Give us a break. uh
I don't know,
but
man. This year has taught us anything is that
yeah,
things are.
the thing that's creeping in the back of my mind is like the COVID cases rising again. This is like, please, can we just like not do that anymore? But anyway, well, that's the current state of affairs in our country. Just remember this for the. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. By the time this comes out, hopefully there'll be a decisive vote, or in the country, a new president, whoever that is.
Probably not.
Probably not, and if not, I guess we'll comment on that again. But I'm it's what we release next each Wednesday. So next Wednesday will be what, November
11.
11th.
I
So
think
it's
some states said they weren't going to have their last count until the 12th.
the 12th. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So we might not know until then. So just giving you guys an update because this is very interesting. Kids, if there's any kids listening, pay attention in school because I Mexi was like giving me give me shit because I was like, "Oh, did you take government?" Like I did, but now I don't remember anything.
No,
So
no, 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 no. Didn't you take AP government?
AP government, yeah.
I won't throw you under the bus that hard.
Yes, I did take AP government, and I'm sure they talked about this. I did pass the class, but I don't remember.
Did you get an AP score?
I did.
Okay.
One. I got a 3, which is not great, but enough to get you some credits in college.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, yeah. You get that. You get that. You get some credits. You take less classes in college. Party more. Oh man, great. Anyway, I don't know, man. Like we'll post some links. There's some good memes. We'll post them on the description because it's just
If
you gotta laugh
anything,
at something, man. You gotta laugh at something.
if anything, the memes are the best part of this election. Like
Yeah,
everything could go to hell, but the
but
memes,
yeah,
good.
it's just like you gotta laugh at something. And it's just like both on both sides. Like it's just like it's a little. It shouldn't be entertaining because it's politics is like real stuff. It matters, but it's like at some point, all you can do is laugh.
Or don't. You know,
Or
you
don't,
can you
or
can
be
do
very
that
stressed out
too.
and go out there with your like your guns and demand to count
Dem-
votes.
Demand to see the votes being counted. That has to be the most boring thing ever.
I want to see one. Okay, next one. No,
Okay.
I don't know. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what people are expecting to see. Because I there was a meme of a guy like they were doing the news report and there was a guy in the back that's just like, please God, this job sucks, like in the back rolling his head. Like it's just like he's like, okay, you're on camera now, okay, pay attention, act like you're working, because it looks like a boring job.
Because it
Like you're just,
is.
yeah, you're shuffling papers from here to there.
It's like
uh
one person opens the envelope, then it puts it in a box. The next person opens the second envelope that it's in. It's privacy, right?
yeah.
Okay. And the third person opens it out of the envelope, makes sure it's flat, flips it to make sure it looks good, and then it gives it to the other person. The other person puts it in the machine, and sometimes the machine says error. And then they gotta lock that envelope, that ballot, to another group of people, and then that group of person has to take it to a person that like 5 people that be like, I think they voted for this person, and then
Yeah,
they all 5 of them go yay or nay, and then it's
yeah.
so tedious. Like,
Yeah, man. Yeah, like these are the true heroes of our country. The people working there. I don't. They're probably not getting paid very much. It's gotta be like a temp, minimum wage job.
no, a lot of them are volunteers.
Oh, volunteers! Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, man! Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your service. Jeez.
Yeah, man. Like
Oh,
it's like it's such a tedious and boring. I do not envy them.
yeah.
Thank them for doing this work. But oh my
Oh
god.
man, yeah. Oh, like I remember like a Pizzagate, well, not Pizzagate, Sharpiegate. Did you hear?
Sharpie it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Freaking people freaking out. It's like, you use a Sharpie. Oh no, Sharpie's fine. The machine can read it, guys. Don't worry about it. But I don't know.
It's like every excuse being used to make their votes count more.
Yeah, it's just like everything. Everything is like everything's a problem, but nothing's a problem. I don't know. It's just like let's just see what happens. I'm just curious to see. Like nothing's happening today. Today was a pretty quiet day. We're still waiting for people to finish counting. We'll see what tomorrow.
Sir, Georgia went from like 30,000 votes at the start of the day to 2,000.
Yeah,
There's a
but
lot.
it's still not
Actually,
flipped.
it just updated to 1,200 votes
Oh man.
today. Like right in this moment.
Georgia's still counting. Nevada, what the hell, man? You have less people. Come on.
I
Oh my god.
saw I saw a meme where it was like Nevada looking at Georgia like you don't want to give the first tallies because Trump supporters are going to show up at your state.
Oh man.
It's such a funny meme.
Oh my god. Yeah, we'll collect a few memes. We'll post them in the description. You guys can laugh. I mean, by this point, you guys probably have seen it. Wow, it's just they're everywhere. Just go on Facebook, go on Reddit. You'll see them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anyway, that's the current state of affairs. I think we can probably call it here. Uh, Hopefully, we won't have to talk about this next week.
Hopefully.
Cool. All right. Well, signing off. Catch you guys later.
Peace.
Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, please give us a star, heart, or leave us a review. You can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube at Pubstomp Podcast. That's PUBSTOMPOD cast. For more episodes, go to anchor.fm/Pubstomp. Music provided by 99 Lives. Credits are in the episode description.